Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to the Game According to Me podcast. Normally, this is where I talk about um, the week by week in college and pro football, but that's going to start next Tuesday. Today, we are doing we are looking back at the week in college football and previewing the next week, but we are also ended up doing the NFL preview. So, where I talk about everything. Well, I give you my predictions on what happened, who's going to win what is it going to be the divisions, all of those things. I use playoffpredictors.com to help me out with it, and I think it's funny. Doing it just a minute ago, surprisingly, we have a surprising number one seed in the NFC, and we'll get to that, in a little later. But yeah, and then I also will give you my my winners for the awards, Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, yada yada yada, all those things, MVP. But to start off with college football, and we're gonna start off this past weekend. This is officially week one. We had the week zero stuff happening earlier in back on August 26th, but this is week one finally, and we had some very obviously some tremendous blowouts because most teams start off with tomato cans, but there was one team that didn't start off with a tomato can, and maybe they should have started off with a tomato can. But let's go to let's talk about how it goes. And by the way, some of you may want to know, what do I do? Well, I usually go to just the NCAA football scores, and it's the top 25 usually. That's why I don't go into, because there are so many games. I don't go into some of the other games, but the top 25 games are usually the ones that I talk about. So let's start off with Oklahoma, ranked 18th, took on Arkansas State 73-0, tomato can. Yada, yada. You can't tell anything from that game. Tennessee took on Virginia 49-13. Michigan took on East Carolina without Jim Harbaugh. They even did some formations where they did like a four formation and things like that. So whatever. But they beat East Carolina 30-3. Mercer lost to Mississippi 73-7. Oregon State beat Portland State 81-7. Wisconsin beat Buffalo 38-17. Texas beat Rice 37-10. Notre Dame, for the first time ever, Notre Dame faced an FCS school, Tennessee State, coached by Eddie George, and they routed them 56-3. As a Notre Dame fan, I am kind of disappointed that they went ahead and scheduled an FCS team, because that was like something to be proud of. Like Notre Dame, we don't fight tomato cans, right? We make a schedule to do this. Now, over the past years, we've kind of gone away from some of those things. We don't face everybody, but we start having teams like playing Tulsa and playing San Diego State and some of those other type of teams, which they're FBS schools. They're kind of tomato cans, especially the way we should have been played. So yeah, like I was saying, it's kind of disappointing to see Notre Dame go that route. But I guess if that's the way it needs to happen, it needs to happen, because you're trying to do the college football playoff and trying to get in there. So you want to get some transfer reps. But here's the thing about Notre Dame this year. I think one thing that we need to look at, they actually have a quarterback this year, and that's not taking anything away from I can't remember his name, but the guy who took Notre Dame to the college football playoffs a couple of years ago. Um, I can't remember his name, but um, as nice of a quarterback as he was, he still wasn't a great quarterback who could, make plays from the pocket. He would use his legs a lot of times as well. But Sam Hartman seems to be a guy who can stand in the pocket, read the defense, make the plays that need to be made in the pass game, and that's what Notre Dame has needed forever. So good on them for getting Sam Hartman through the transfer portal, and that might make a difference this year in whether Notre Dame is a national championship contender or a pretender. Ohio State beat Indiana 23-3. Washington beat Boise State 56-19. Georgia beat Tennessee Martin 48-7. Nevada lost to USC 66-14. Kansas State shut out SEMO. I don't know what that is. 45-0. Texas A&M beat New Mexico 52-10. West Virginia lost to Penn State 38-15. South Carolina lost to UNC in the Battle of the Carolinas. I think it's the Victory Bell they played for 31-17. Alabama beat Middle Tennessee State 56-7. Tulane beat South Alabama 37-17. Oregon State beat San Jose State 42-17. Florida State beat LSU 45-27. This was a tremendous game because it was like 17-14 LSU going into half, and Florida State just came out the second half and just rambosed them, and really just took the heart out of them. And then we also had Labor Day. We had Duke, taking the heart out of Clemson 28-7. I had Clemson as one of the teams making the national championship, and they lose the first round of Duke, and so it's it doesn't look like mine's gonna stay like that. Florida State is great. Notre Dame is gonna be good. So USC can still be good. So a lot of things out there. But the game of the week, without question, was Colorado versus TCU. And it was a tremendous showing by the Colorado Buffaloes, coached by Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. Him and his kids, you could tell from the start that they were looking for it. These were not just kids that went to a HBU. These were actual players. And his son, Shadir Sanders, threw for over 500 yards. And then we had the Travis Hunter kid who played both offense and defense, played 120 some odd snaps in a sweltering 100-degree heat. Amazing what this did for them, and it's gonna be fun to watch this Colorado Buffalo team and see where they end up at the end of the season. I can't wait because a lot of people were shocked. I was not shocked. I didn't know if they were going to beat TCU. But they were like a 20-some-odd favorite. I knew they were going to cover. They won outright. So way to go, Colorado. As we look ahead to week 2, we've got some more tomato cans on the schedule. There's the number 7 Penn State Lions takes on Delaware. You got 15 Kansas State put on Troy. 5 on 5 Ohio State. They're taking on Youngstown State. And 25 Clemson. They're taking on Charleston Southern. I guess that's what it is. So some of those. And number 9 Tennessee taking on Austin P. But we got some other games here. Good. Number 10 Notre Dame taking on NC State. Number 12 Utah taking on Baylor. Again, another good game. Colorado ranked 22 now, taking on Nebraska. This is an old school Big 12 rivalry that has now come back this year. Maybe might come back when Nebraska leads the Big 10. Looking for that to happen. Who knows? Georgia's taking on Ball State. That's another tomato can. Mississippi versus Tulane. Mississippi ranked 20th. Tulane ranked 24. This could be a good game. And maybe we'll see if one of the teams out of the Power 5 can take on a team in the Power 5. Michigan and UNLV, if I didn't mention that already. Texas A&M at Miami and Florida. Washington is hosting Tulsa. App State going to North Carolina. Lafayette is taking on 21st ranked Blue Devils. SMU takes on Oklahoma. And Oregon is at Texas Tech. That might be a good one too, even though Oregon just beat the living dog out of Portland State, 81-7 it was. So there you have it. What's happening in college football this week? I cannot wait to start getting to play so there's some more better games. Get past these first 4 games where everybody's playing these tomato cans or anything like that. So we should get some good stuff maybe. And I would say maybe another week or 2. we'll start getting the highlights. And one of those highlights is going to be Texas and Alabama. That's going to be a good one. And it's Texas and Alabama. Texas, that's oh, actually, yeah, that's actually next week. Okay, so see, they for some reason they have this as another week. I don't know where to put this. So yeah, Texas and Alabama is next week. That's good. Grambling State is going to LSU. Wisconsin is at Washington State. Southern Miss is at Florida State. UC Davis is at Oregon State, and Stanford is at USC. So yeah, I knew Texas and Alabama was coming up. I didn't know. So the way they got this put on the internet is just I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah, so we got to so that's going to be actually the game of the week next week. So it's coming Saturday. So it's going to be fun to watch as we start settling into college football. And now let's do the preview of the NFL 2023-24 season. As I mentioned earlier, I use playoff predictors, as you see up there in the corner. And I go through each and every week and I select the games. I don't account for injuries. I don't account for anything like that. I just select the games who I think is going to win that week, and I go through all 18 weeks, and and this comes up with everything that's happened here. So and things like this, and they do the whole thing for you. They come up with with the winners and the losers, and they keep the records and everything like that. So let's just go to it. This is the first time I'm well, not the first time. I do these in the past, but in the past I've had to take screenshots of these so that you guys could see it and things like this. But with an upgrade on a computer and things like that, I have now been having the opportunity to do this kind of live. Um, and I hope you guys can see everything and see clearly. We just look over on the left side. There is the AFC. On the right side is the NFC. So we're gonna go through here. As we look down, we just start with the West, the Chiefs, 16-1, the number one overall seed. The Los Angeles Chargers are 11-6, but they're the eighth seed. They just missed the playoffs. They won 11 games and just missed the playoffs. That is something else. The Denver Broncos are 4-13. The 14th, the Raiders are 1-16. They're 16th in the conference. We look at the AFC East. I have the Bills at 14-3. I have the Jets at 13-4. 13-4. I have the Dolphins at 11-6. The Dolphins and the Chargers do play, and I picked the Chargers, the Dolphins, to beat the Chargers in that game, and that's why the Dolphins made it and the Chargers didn't. And then I had the Patriots going 7-10. In the North, I had the Bengals sharing, but they pretty much won it. I think was the tiebreakers. 14-3, and the Steelers are 14-3. Of the Ravens are 9-8, and the Browns are 6-11. In the South, the Jaguars being 12-5, going 6-0 in the division. The Titans 9-8, the Colts 5-12, and the Texans 2-15. That means the Arizona Cardinals are going to have this, and they do the draft order as you can see right here. They do have the draft order, so that's going to be something also to be very, very interesting about. So now let's go over here to the NFC. Like I said, I have a surprising number one seed. The New Orleans Saints are 14-3, 6-0 in the division. I couldn't believe it, So, but I knew the Saints. I had the Saints winning this division. I just didn't think I was going to have them that much. The Buccaneers are 4-13. The Panthers are 3-14. The Falcons are 2-15. In the Eastern, in the NFC East, I have the Eagles going 13-4. The number 2 overall seed, and the Cowboys going 10-7, the number 5 seed. Giants just missed the playoffs at 8-9, and the Commanders are 6-11. In the West, I have the 49ers going 13-4, beating the best team in their division. Seahawks next at 8-9. The Rams at 4-13. The Cardinals at 1-16, tied with the Raiders for the worst record in the league. And then I have in the North the Detroit Lions 11-6 winning the game. I have the Packers going 10-7, being six, being the 60, and my Chicago Bears. And I'll dive into the Bears schedule a little bit later for all you Bears fans. I have to do it. I'm a Chicago Bear guy. Um, I have them being 9-8, going 2-4 in the division, which is kind of strange. And but them, I'm guessing. Let's see, who was the eighth? Who was eight? Eight was the Giants. So I guess it's because they were 89 and 9-8. So, but yeah, as you can see, I stay with what's is status quo. I have the Chargers being 8-6 and not making the playoffs, and uh, at 11-6, and I have being the AFC, the AC, the Giants is 8-9. So that's a weird thing. And I have the Vikings also at 89, being the last team in the NFC North. So now, as we scroll down here, we can look at at the brackets. They made the black brackets for us as well. You can see the Jaguars and the Steelers, Bills and the Dolphins, and the Bengals and the Jets are wild card weekend. But the AFC, NFC, the Lions and the Cowboys, the Eagles and the Bears, the Packers and the 49ers. And so as we look at this, we have the Jaguars beat the Steelers. They go to face the Chiefs. The Bills beat the Dolphins, and then the Bengals take on the Bills. It's almost a thing from the exact same thing from last year, isn't it? The Jaguars were at the Chiefs in the divisional round, and the Bengals were at the Bills in the divisional round. Same old story in the AFC. NFC, we got a different story here. The Lions beat the Cowboys. Lions move on, and we have the Eagles and the Bears. Eagles move on. Packers and the 49ers. The 49ers move on. So now we go to the divisional round. The Chiefs beat the Jaguars, and this time I have the Bills beating the Bengals in the divisional round. So the Bills go to the Chiefs. Here we have the Lions upsetting the Saints, moving on to the NFC Championship game, and the Eagles losing to the 49ers. Brock Purdy is not hurt in this game. Defense steps up. Nick Bosa wrecking shop. They go on, and then we have the Lions and the 49ers in the in the National NFC Conference Championship game, excuse me. And then they beat the Lions, the 49ers move on, and then the Chiefs beating the Bills. Once again in the AFC Championship game, going on to the Super Bowl, 49ers and Chiefs, a rematch of a few years ago. Outcomes still the same. Chiefs win. They win the entire thing. Another championship, another Super Bowl MVP for Patrick Mahomes, and it is incredible what those guys are going to do. So there you have it. That's my predictions for that. Let's take a look at the draft order, and as we look, this would be how the draft order would go. Cardinals would be 1, the Raiders would be 2, but the Falcons 3, Texans 4. That Texans pick would go to the Texans pick would go to Arizona. So they would have 2 top 5 picks in the first round. That Panthers pick 5 comes to Chicago. Chicago would have a top 5 pick for the second year in a row, and they also would have made the playoffs. Buccaneers, Rams, Broncos, Colts, Commanders, Browns, Patriots, Seahawks, Giants, Vikings, Titans, Ravens, Chargers, Bears, Packers, Cowboys, Dolphins, Jets, Steelers, Jaguars, Eagles, Saints, Bengals, Lions, Bills, 49ers, and Chiefs. But there you have. That would be the draft order if things come to fruition the way I have chosen it. And let's talk about the winners, right? The winners. My MVP, if the Saints are going to be 14-3 and shock the world, you got to pick Derek Carr. That means that Derek Carr probably has played the best he's ever played. So he's going to be the MVP. I have to choose this, right? Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going to go Jamar Chase. I think he'll have a big year. Maybe we're talking about one of those things where he's looking to break records, going over the 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns, things like that. Nick Bosa just signed a day or two ago with 49ers. He's going to come out bonkers. Another person who can maybe break a record, break Michael Strahan's stat record. Nick Bosa, Defensive Player of the Year. Your Offensive Rookie of the Year, I think, is B. John Robinson of the Falcons. I think they're going to run the ball, and they're going to run the ball a lot. Even though I have the Falcons only winning 2 games, I think B. John Robinson is probably going to get 13, 1,400 yards rushing. Over double-digit touchdowns. He's going to be a big factor. Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to be Will Anderson Jr. I think he is another one that's going to have one of those surprise. He's not surprised, but he's going to have one of those good years for a rookie that you don't think of. He's going to have 10, 12 sacks and just be a force on the defense when it comes to the Texans. So Will Anderson Jr. will be Defensive Rookie of the Year. Comeback Player of the Year, DeMar Hamlin of the Bills. He's got to be Comeback Player of the Year. It's just amazing what he went through with the heart situation he had in that game against the Bengals, and then for him to come back and play, and if he plays the whole season, and he doesn't have to be good. He's going to be a backup safety for them, but he's going to be incredible. And it's just the fact that he would play a season like that would make him then the comeback player of the year. It's kind of like this like Alex Smith, because the fact that he just played made him comeback player of the year. But then he played well as well for the Commanders. So that's incredible. And then coach of the year again. Saints surprise and go 14-3. It's got to be a coach of the year. So Dennis Allen is the Saints for the Saints is their coach of the year. So there you have it. My rewards, my awards for the NFL 2023 season to go along with the division winners, the playoffs, and who wins the Super Bowl. So there you have it. Chiefs over 49ers in the Super Bowl. So once again, a reminder, next Tuesday, we start back going weekly. A new season of the game, according to me, starts next Tuesday. We recap what's happening in college football and NFL, and then we preview what happened in the upcoming week. If other things are happening, we're going to get basketball coming soon. But we are running to the end of baseball. We'll be talking about that as well. And it's gonna be pretty amazing. I want you to do that. And actually, as I was thinking about it, I said I was gonna take a look at my Bears. So really quick, let's just take a look at the Bears. As we can see, this is how they rank out. So this is what I have. I have them losing in week 1 to the Packers, winning week 2 to the Buccaneers, losing to the Chiefs, beating the Broncos, losing to the Commanders, beating the Vikings, beating the Raiders, losing to the Chargers, losing to the Saints, beating the Panthers, losing to the Lions, losing to the Vikings, the bye week, winning against the Lions at home, winning against the what's the name, winning against the Cardinals, the Falcons, but losing their last game. They go on a 4-game winning streak towards the end, and that pushes them into the playoffs. So yeah, that's what's happening for my Bears. Said I was gonna do it, so I had to do that as well. We all know I'm a bigger Bear fan I am, so we got to do that. So yeah, that's it for this episode of Game According to Me. Also, another thing, because this is going to be not only in the podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast, but this is also going to be over on YouTube. Starting next week, it's podcast only. Podcast only. So, not on YouTube, anything like that. So, check all your podcasts. Wherever you listen to your podcast, search the Game According to Me. It should be there. I have links down in the description box for those of you guys watching on YouTube, to where all of my things are for the podcast. Go there, sign up, find it. Make sure you listen to it. So there you have it. if you like what you hear or like what you see, there are many ways that you can support this this podcast, this YouTube channel. Um, the first one is going to patreon.com/AJTRIP to become a patron. Once I hit a certain amount of patrons, you will be able to determine what you see on my YouTube channel, what you hear on my other podcast, The Word According to Me, or the video games that I play on twitch.tv/ATriplet20. You're going to want to be here because we've got some stuff going on down this weekend. NBA 2K is coming out, so we're going to be streaming some of that. We might be streaming some of Madden as well, so a lot of things. Make sure you go over to twitch.tv/ATriplet20. If you are a gamer, like watching people game, go over there, follow me, subscribe. It is September, so it's gonna be good. And also, and if you are um, but if you also want to support me, you can go to the support page of the new like Spotify things, and you can go there. I think there's 3 tiers: 99¢, $4.99, and $9.99. And if you want to do that, that's totally fine. But also, if you are one of those guys that doesn't have the monetarily stuff to support your people to support me like that monetarily, that's totally fine. The other way you can support is by sharing my podcast and sharing these videos on YouTube. Share them on your Twitter account, on your Facebook account, and Reddit, wherever you like, wherever you are. Share them. I guess I don't know if you can share them on Threads yet, but if you do it on Threads, you do that as well. So just make sure you share this podcast, share this YouTube channel. It's another way to help me out without monetarily if you cannot afford that. And a lot of us can't right now, but I understand that. All right. So for those of you guys on YouTube, post your comments down below to me what you guys think. What do you guys thought about my predictions? What do you feel about my awards? What do you guys think? Give me your predictions down in the comment section. For those of you guys listening, thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate it so much. This is your boy AJ Trip signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.